All right, good afternoon, everybody. All right, everybody's coming in slow today. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. While we're waiting, we're going to do a gizmo today. But while we're waiting, I want you to go to all right, so we're in Canvas, and I want you to look at the section on dichotomous keys. We're going to do the gizmo for dichotomous keys today. All right, when everybody's in, we'll look at what is a dichotomous key together, and then I'm going to walk you through the gizmo. All right, folks. So, let's just watch this. While we still wait for folks to come in. Whoops. And that's the important part. Each question should be phrased as, is it yes or no? And each segment is called a couplet. Okay. So I think we kind of went through this a little bit when we were looking at the milestone test. But what we're going to look at is how do you use one. So they're going to describe, and we're still waiting for folks to come in. So I'm going to stay here in Canvas for a little while. So I think we kind of looked at the rules for this, but each of these sentences are called couplets, and they have a statement that goes with the characteristics. And at the end of the couplet, at the end of the line, it will tell you what to do. So if you say, and you always have to say yes or no. If you say yes to A, then it tells you go to number 2. If you say no to A, then you look at B, and usually has to be, if you do a good one, it has to be one or the other. So does it have a backbone? Does it not have a backbone? If it has a backbone, then you want to go to number 2. If it doesn't have a backbone, then you skip down to number 5, which isn't on the page, right? But you get the hang of it. So number 2 will take you all the way through. If it had a backbone, you went to number 2. That if you said yes, it has fur, then it tells you what it is. If you said no, it doesn't have fur, then you look at it without fur, it tells you to go to number 3. And then with number 3, you look at either has feathers, then it's a bird. If it doesn't have feathers, go to number 4. So it's always going to be a yes or no situation as you go through. All right. Still waiting for a couple of people, so we'll look at this one. Look at this. Ooh, that's loud.
Dichotomous key. There's a lot of birds in our world, and if you were asked to identify a bird based on its characteristics, you could probably do it. We could probably name the hummingbird, the owl, the duck, and the penguin based on its features. But if you were asked to name these birds using their scientific name, the task wouldn't be so easy. You wouldn't know the scientific name of these birds just by looking at them. Scientists have figured out a way to make a chart to help you better identify birds based on their characteristics. The chart is called a dichotomous key. Reading a dichotomous key is easy. Take a look at the hummingbird. To use a dichotomous key, start at number 1. At number 1, it's asking us to observe the feet of the bird. A hummingbird does not have webbed feet, so we'll go to step 3. Step 3 has us examine the bird's tufts. Our bird does not have tufts. We just figured out the scientific name. Let's try the dichotomous key again with a different bird. This time we have the penguin. Start at number 1. Our bird has webbed feet, so we're going to have to go to step 2. Step 2 has us count the number of toes. A penguin has 4 toes. We just figured out the scientific name of the penguin. Using the same chart, we can figure out the scientific name of the duck. Starting at number 1, we see our bird has webbed feet, so we'll go to step 2. We have to count the toes. A duck has 3. We just figured out the scientific name again. Lastly, an owl. Always start at number 1 on the dichotomous key and look at the features of the organism you're trying to identify. Our bird has tufts. This is its dichotomous key's scientific name. Dichotomous keys, charts that scientists use to figure out the scientific name of organisms or to help identify footprints. Dichotomous keys.
Love. All right, so we're not going to fiddle with these guys right now. We are going to go to our Gizmo. All right, so you want to download the worksheet, and then you want to go, as always, to so we are still going to be talking about birds in this one. So you're going to identify the birds. They're going to talk about these, and then you're going to fill out the chart, and then you're going to create your own little you're going to look at these guys, and you're going to create your own key based on the statements above. All right, so the last thing is you are going to make a dichotomous key. And you got to do that. Okay, so this one is a little long, so it's going to take us a few days to do this, but again, please use class time to class work. We're not taking forever, so there is a due date on this. Okay, next Friday, next Thursday, actually. So you got, what did I just do? That I hit the wrong thing. All right, so it's open today. It's due next Thursday. So you got 1 week. So if you start today, we'll get it done. When we're at the end of the semester, we only have one more assignment like this afterwards, and then we're going to have a final exam. So you want to make sure that you're catching up on all your missing assignments and stay current. So today just work on this. Work on old things later, but work on this today. Okay? And I'm going to stay here for a minute because we had a late person come in and they're not going to know what we're doing. All righty. Good afternoon, Keone. We're still missing somebody. Missing 2 or 3 people. All right. So we're going to do this gizmo. So let me to get you over there. So go log into the gizmo. And oops. Trying to make sure you see. That mine closed out. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, give me a minute to start from scratch. All right, so for those of you who don't know how to do that, you go to Clever, you click on explorelearning.com, whatever. And now it's going to be different for me because I go in a little different. For you, it'll come up on an assigned page. So when I click on 5th period, I'm going to have a list of things that have been assigned to you. Yours should come up like this too. And you are doing dichotomous keys. All right. Desian, I just saw your message. I got you. So while you're doing this, I'll be looking at that. All right, so these are all the ones we've done already. Today we're doing dichotomous keys. So you want to do that. Um, Now this is one that also has the quiz afterwards. So don't do the quiz until you've done the activity. All right, so download the worksheet. Let me come back over here. Download the worksheet. Come on, download the worksheet. All right, so the beginning gives you some vocabulary. They gave you a prior knowledge conversation. So we just had some prior knowledge. So you can do the warm up based on what we've just looked at in Canvas. All right. So answer those. And then the lab starts. Here's where it tells you what to do. Okay. So we are going. So the one in the picture is a California albatross. Okay, and then you're going to answer the questions as you go along, and it will give you, it'll help you answer the worksheet. Okay. All right. They're designated seagulls. Why? And so that gives you a description here, and that's your organism A. It has large areas of the body are covered in feathers. So are large areas of the body covered in feathers? Most of the bird's body is covered in feathers or covered in gray or black feathers. So it's not all white, but it does have gray and black. Would you agree? Would you agree? Yes. So we want to click that one. And then we say next. All right, look at the feet. The feet are black. Well, the feet are not black. The feet are white, pink, or light gray. I'd say they were light gray. So We want to click on that and notice it says next. All right. So they don't think that's what it is. So you go start over. All right. So large area of the body is covered in white feathers. So all of this is white. So we're going to say yes. All right. The beak is mostly pink. The beak is mostly pink. Well, the beak, and it's always important to read both of them. The beak is gray with a yellow tip. It is not gray with a yellow tip, so we want to click on that one. All right. The head plumage is light yellow color, or it's mostly white or all white. Well, it is definitely yellow. All right, so then you've done it right. Okay, so this one's easy to do. You click through and it'll tell you when you're wrong, and then you just go back and practice again till you get till it tells you you've got the right answer. Then you enter your information on your worksheet. Okay. All right, got it. Any questions? Any questions? All righty. So that's organism A. And then when they switch to organism B, it changes to another bird. And then it changes to organism C is another bird. So this is the one with gray and yellow. Okay. So each of these is a different, and you're just going to use the same, notice you're using the same key, but you're changing organisms. So let's go back to A. All right. That's all you have to do. And then when you're finished, you're going to do flowers. So you're going to go through the birds, then you're going to go through the flowers. It's going to be the same thing. Organism A is the one that you're working on, and then you're working to name organism A. And then when you finish that, you're going to work on some snakes. And then when you finish the snakes, you're going to work on some evergreens and then some fish. Okay, so we're going to start with our California average. I answered that first, and then you're going to change the category at the top, and then there's several organisms underneath that category each time. All right. Questions, questions, questions. I'll probably say this again because we got a couple of people who are out. I think they might be tests. There's some people who had to do retests. Okay. All right. Work on this first, please. And then if you have anything outstanding that you need to do, work on that later. But do this first. Like I said, this has a lot of parts to it, and it's going to take a little while. Getting started now is a good idea. All right. Good afternoon, Dallas. Dallas, we are in, so you go in Canvas and you go to the section on dichotomous keys. And and read that section. We already read this before you came. Right after that is the assignment. So you want to download your worksheet, go to Gizmo, and follow the directions. This is your Gizmo. All right, Isaiah, I don't know what you are doing. All right. Only everybody's good. All right, so I'm checking. Go Guardian, and everybody is not doing the gizmo. Folks, like I said, this is the end of the year. This is a long gizmo. And I would like to grade things when it's due and not have to be grading 5 things when it's not due. So if I would appreciate it, everybody who is present today logs in to the gizmo and does the gizmo today. That's what you're supposed to be here for. Please, let's get that done. And do the quiz after. Do not do the quiz before you do the activity. In case y'all hadn't noticed, the quiz goes along with the activity. So the answers for the quiz are in what you do. Oh, here's Chris now. All right, let me see what I can do here. Um, Good afternoon, Chris. Okay. All right. That's Chris. I just put a link in the chat. That's where you'll find the activity today for the gizmo for dichotomous keys. Okay, let me pull this up as someone asked. Um, the the key that you have, this particular key, um, is only dealing with 4 characteristics. Okay, so there are other characteristics, and there are some birds that are more closely related than others. So as far as what do you think are some of the limitations of a dichotomous key? Uh, it is limited in that it only addresses a very few characteristics, but the very few characteristics that they address usually get you in the right ballpark. There are now some species that are very unique that have become very modified, so they may not fit in this same mold as all the other birds do or organisms do. So that's what they mean. by what are some of the limitations. It's good and it's not so good. Okay. You're welcome. It's it's very simplified, and life has become so much more complicated than that. So they have given you some of the organisms that are easy to fit into these types of keys, but there are organisms on the planet, plants and flowers, plants and animals alike, that have very unique characteristics, and they might not fit on a pre-designed key like this. They might need another key. You might need to add to the key so that you get the characteristics of this unique individual. That was a good question. One, two, there are exactly 3 people who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. My time flies. That's great. Now you got to identify all of the flowers. Okay, everybody doing okay? Everybody understanding where to go? I still see half of you not doing it. Still missing a couple of Earth Day challenges.